Welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. I got a request a few weeks ago in the comment sections of one of my videos to talk about how I handled toxic players at my table. And I do have an answer for that. It's not going to be terribly complete. It's not going to be terribly detailed. And I'll get to the reasons why it's not in a minute. Basically, in short, if you are at a table that you are not comfortable at, if there is someone there who's making you uncomfortable, if it's the person who's the host or the game master or what have you, you're probably best suited leaving that game. You don't need that pressure. You can find another group, go someplace else. If it's not someone who is in charge of the space or the group, then maybe you can bring it up to the game master. Mention that you're being made uncomfortable. Mention or perhaps to the host if you've got a relationship with either of these people. Bring it up and let them know that you need some support and ask how they would like to handle it, and see if you want to confront this person who is making this a less than pleasant experience for you, or if maybe even they might become disinvited to the game. The reason I don't have a better, more detailed answer for that is that I'm spoiled. I have had amazing groups. I'm looking back on over a decade of groups I get along very well with that have had no one in them that really bothered me. A lack of toxicity at my tables. That's what I want to talk about. I'm going to flip this around on its ear, and rather than talk in detail about how to handle toxicity at the table, I'd rather talk about how you avoid it altogether. I like this sweater, and I'm wearing it for two reasons today. One, it's chilly in the office. I know there's a heat dome over half the country, but I've got my air conditioning that's on primarily so I can breathe. A little chilly in here. I need it this cold, or the air just doesn't flow right. It's how my body works anymore. But if I had a little more energy and a little more flexibility, I would have started this video by coming in wearing a windbreaker or a suit jacket and a pair of loafers, taking them off, hanging them up, setting them in the closet, putting on a pair of canvas shoes and a nice sweater, and welcoming you as my neighbor. If you do not recognize that as the opening to the amazing children's show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which is where I learned about an element of life that is often forgotten about today, and that is kindness. There has been no real toxicity in the groups that I have been involved in, because the people that have been involved with these groups have filled our experience with kindness. And where you have filled your experience with kindness, there is no room for toxicity. What am I talking about? What is all this highfalutin philosophy stuff I'm talking about? It's not hard. I can remember toxic people at my table. I can remember being in the home of someone who is incredibly toxic, who enjoyed it when he upset people, would find out what upset someone, and then would just stand on it until they lost their temper. And then he would back off and hold his hands up and go, hey, we're all just having fun here, right? That's fun, right? No one ever took the properly correct action of pasting him one in the mush, because, well, it was his house and you didn't want to stoop to that level, even though he probably richly deserved it. I stopped gaming there. I stopped gaming there when a lot of that toxicity was pointed in my direction, and I just didn't feel like dealing with it anymore. And there were some apologies and some handshakes, and I'm still, I'm just no. Because as long as I'm here, you're going to find some place to offload all of your toxicity, and it's going to be a me. I don't need to deal with that. I'm leaving. I've walked. And pretty much since then, I have focused on my games, my tables, my spaces being places where kindness is the rule. Not a rule as something that is written down, not something that I've passed out in a pamphlet with a signature line at the bottom saying, you all have to agree to be kind or we can't begin this game. No. You foster kindness at your table by being kind at your table. Player, game master, doesn't matter. Host, guest, everyone has an opportunity to be kind. Anyone at the table can be an absolute jerk. You can sit down at any table and anyone there, maybe they're a jerk. But if there's a room to be like that at a game, there should also, I had reasoned, be room to just be kind. Someone's having a hard time with the dice mechanic. Well, maybe I can explain it. Can I help you out with that? Someone is, lunch is happening and someone, I'm broke this week. You guys go ahead. I'll be over here. Get him a cheeseburger. Cheeseburgers aren't expensive. You want a cheeseburger? Can I get you a cheeseburger? I got a large fries. Can I split this with you? It's a couple of bucks. Someone at the table can spare a couple of bucks. Someone there can be kind. That person's never done anything for me, so what? They need a cheeseburger. They have a need. You have a couple of bucks. There's a cheeseburger. Be amazed how much goodwill you earn yourself by just stacking up little acts of kindness. I bring extra pencils. Someone has always forgotten their pencil. One of the most common phrases you hear at the gaming table is, anyone got a pencil? You always got to make notes. You got to level up. You got to change things. You got to edit stuff. Bring a couple extra pencils. People appreciate that. Bring some extra dice. I've got plenty of dice. I do not mind sliding some of my dice across the table. People remember who gave them over, and I have a lot of them. So someone forgets and puts one of my dice in their bag. I have dice in my bag from other people. Circle of life, it happens. And you complain about it? No, it's a die. It's a 30-cent piece of plastic. I'm dating myself. They're a little more pricey these days, but yeah, not more expensive than a cheeseburger. Okay. I have individual dice that are, in fact, more expensive than a cheeseburger. I would mind if someone walked off with this one, but I wouldn't slide this one across the table. I got a lot of dice. I don't smoke. I carry a lighter. Carry a lighter that's likely to destroy half a cigarette. Thank you, Andrew, for selecting a fine thing like this. I won't hang around while they smoke because they'll injure me with my asthma. But, sure. What, you're going to be outside smoking because you're having a really rough time. You're a little nervous. The nicotine fit's hitting you. And that's, they're suffering from an addiction that is going to cause them some level of discomfort and harm. Okay, I got a light. I won't carry cigarettes. And, but if someone has already purchased their poison and just needs a source of heat so that they can not shake for half an hour, I got a light. And the more one person does this at the table, the more everyone at the table does this. I game with a lot of very kind people. People who are kind when I met them. People who are giving. Who understand that when you give a little bit at that table, when you give a little, maybe it's not the table. Maybe, there's a movie coming out that is, hey, I want to go see this movie. It's like the stuff we do in our game. You want to go see it? Sure. You have a movie outing. Be kind. Yeah, you go to someplace afterwards, sit around, talk about the movie. You guys go ahead. I'll have a water over here. It's like, can I get you a Coke? This place makes pretty good grilled cheese. Can I get you a grilled cheese sandwich? Would that help? Why not? Why not? A little kindness goes a long way. And someone who might be predisposed to be kind of toxic, someone who knows that they're going to ruin your day because ruining your day makes them feel better, well, maybe they're a little bit less inclined to ruin your day if they're eating the cheeseburger you bought them. If they're drinking the Coke you remembered to bring to the game. Maybe they're not, but you know what? Either way, they had a need, you took care of it, and if they're a little bit douchey afterwards, maybe they need that. And that's another part of it. I'm not nice 24/7. No one is nice 24/7. And it's not that it's a burden to do it. I get headaches. I get hungry. My blood sugar drops. I'm a diabetic. That can happen. I get a little snappy sometimes. Things don't go well in the game. We've been working towards this thing, and the game masters decided this is the day they're going to pull out absolutely every rule that could screw us in this situation and get a little snappy. Fortunately for me, there are other kind people there who don't remonstrate with me. Do not, no, don't do that. That's not kind. That's not how it works. No. Scott, can I fill up your water? Are you okay, Scott? Do you need how's your blood sugar? You doing okay? A little reminder, couched in the terms of kindness, will do amazing wonders. Will calm a lot of stuff down. The kindest people I know have had bad days. And on those bad days, do you know what they need? It's not some toxicity. It's not someone pushing them until they lose it. Toxic people may believe that, they needed to blow up a little bit, so I just set them off. And now they've got all that. No, that's not how that works. That's not helpful. That's not beneficial. That hurts people. If you have that anger and that explosion, you don't feel good afterwards, do you? No, it feels good. Can I get you a glass of water? Do you need something? Hey, you know what? I think there's 2 cold beers in the fridge, and I could use one of them. You want the other one? Not that alcohol is the answer, but man, hot day, cold beer, you're a little twerked off, and you got a second. Pop the top. Take that drink. That cold, icy bitterness pouring down your throat. Yeah. Chance to calm down. A little perspective, a little time. It's like a Twix, but it's boozier. And you take your moment and thanks. I needed that. And get right on with being kind. There is no better tool for chasing toxicity away from your gaming table than kindness. And frankly, once you have employed that at the gaming table and it has worked for you because it works, be amazed how many different places it works. Can you be kind online all the time? Well, you probably ought to be. Are you going to be? Yeah, we all have our days. There are some people who practice just being unkind. Why? Do you remember anyone fondly because they were unkind to you? It's kind of a prerequisite for not being remembered fondly, isn't it? Oh, that jerk. Yeah, that guy. I'm glad that guy's not here right now because we would not be having a good time if that guy was here. Don't be that guy. It doesn't take any more effort to be kind than it does to be a douchebag to people. Don't be a douche. Wheaton's first law. Follow that. I mean, I can belabor this point for a while, and I probably have at this point, but long and short of it, if you don't want toxicity at your table, make kindness the rule. Make kindness the rule by exercising kindness. Someone's having a hard time today. Take a minute. You okay? You need anything? Can I get you something? Catch him outside. Seems like something's up. Or we'll talk about it. Give him a minute. Sometimes it's not the burger money. It's not the beer in the fridge. It's not that drink of water. It's not going and getting them something. Sometimes the most important thing you can give someone is a few minutes in your ear. You'd be amazed what happens when you see someone who is kind of floundering. They're having one of those days. They can't get into character. They're having a hard time focusing. They don't know what they've got stuff on their mind. Shared joy is increased. Shared pain is lessened. Thank you, Spider Robinson. If you see someone in pain, share it. And talk about it. If not, you know what? You look like you're mad. You don't gotta talk about it. That's fine. I'm just gonna stay right here. Okay. I'm just gonna be here. I won't say anything. I'm just gonna be here. Just your presence sometimes. And if you're informed that your presence is not welcome, well, you can go be kind someplace else. But you've let them know that there's an opening, and maybe at some point in time they're ready to talk. Maybe not, but at least you've let them know. At least you've let them know there's an opening, and you are willing to take a few minutes. That's transformative for some people. For someone who's drowning in a bad situation, not advice. You don't have all the answers. I guarantee you don't have all the answers someone needs. But sometimes people don't need answers. Sometimes people just need to be heard. They just need to know that someone is listening, cares enough to listen, and cares enough to try and understand. Be an active listener. Try and understand. Ask questions. Get clarifications. Make sure you understand the situation. Sometimes that helps them understand the situation. And with a proper understanding, maybe they can find their way out. And if not, they get to the point, if they ask for a suggestion and you got something to offer, sure. But unless they ask, you're just there to listen. And there's nothing kinder than that. Give them some time. There's a whole bunch of things here for a whole bunch of situations, but it all boils down to pretty much the same thing. The kinder you are as an individual to everyone around you at that gaming table, the kinder the gaming table becomes. And once you have filled that gaming environment with kindness, toxicity has no place. That toxic behavior comes out where there is room for it, where that toxic person perceives, hey, there's a little toxicity here. People seem to be kind of nipping at each other. Let me let some of my toxicity out, see how it goes. And once they've popped that cork, it just flows like water. You don't ever let it get to the point where that seems like that kind of place. I have some amazing gaming groups right now. I am very happy with every group I've got. And it is not all butterflies and rainbows. There are some crass communications occurring and we're using vulgar language and describing acts of incomprehensible violence because I'm running some of these games. But given that we are, but these are the people I know, this is how we communicate. And underneath all of that, if someone's got a problem, are you okay? Do you need anything? We can take a couple of minutes. We can take a couple minutes right here. Let's take a break. So grab some water. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. It's not hard. It really isn't hard. The best way I have of dealing with toxicity at my table is to give it no room, is to wipe out its natural environment without let or hindrance, to burn down the forests in which toxicity can grow and replace them with clean spires of kindness and giving. A lot of this is because I can't get angry anymore. Not that I don't have the capacity for anger, that if I do get too angry, I hurt myself. Complications from the cancer and whatnot, and all the yelling and screaming and rage and all the stress and tension, bad for me, really bad for me. And I've discovered that my best cure against having to deal with that kind of damage and that kind of stress is to just be really kind. Be calm. Help people. Because you get into a lot fewer really angry situations when you fill the environment with kindness. So, what's the least toxic table I can offer you? The kindest table that I can offer you. If you sit down at my table, there's pencils, there's dice. There might be a cheeseburger if you forgot to bring something for lunch. There's probably sodas. At the very least, there's water. I game with people who have amazing senses of hospitality. Thank you, Candace. I game with people who have tremendous hearts of giving. The Warriors of Wednesday are some of the most generous people I know. And they're not all stocked up with wealth, but they all have something to offer. They all are willing to stand up at a moment's notice and do something that you need done just because you need it done. Layer action, very much the same way. I have a lot of trust in those people because they have been kind. I haven't gamed with Mike's Garage for far too long, and some of those folks have scattered to the four winds, but I miss it because that was an immensely kind table. Kind host, kind game masters, and we were friends who gave to one another when we needed to. Sometimes more than we needed to. I am super lucky to have these groups, but I have fostered attitudes that I have learned from them and that I have brought to those tables. And at the core of it all, whether you call it friendship or camaraderie or shared experience, whatever else is there, and there is a lot, I adore most of the people that I game with. They're short list of people I want at my back if I get into a bar fight. Can you imagine? But on top of all of it, underneath the layer under all of it that holds it all together is the kindness. I've probably belabored this point a little bit too much. Thank you very much for following me along this far. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, give me a thumbs down. Feedback is feedback. I'd like to hear your experiences of how you've handled similar situations, if there's toxicity at your table, or what kindness you've managed to bring to the table. I'd love to have a collection of stories of people just helping one another out at the gaming table and around your gaming groups. Things you'd like to hear me talk about, subjects you'd like to hear me cover, please leave me a comment down below. I will love getting your comment, and you'll love leaving me one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, why not? My channel is awesome. Please hit the subscribe button. If you do, you might also want to hit the notification bell so you're alerted when my videos become available. If you would like to help me in a more substantial manner, I invite you to hit me up my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/ScottDeCorum. Consider donating. Absolutely anything helps, allows me to make better videos more often. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'm Scott Corum. This is what has mattered to me. Be kind to one another. I'll see you next time on the next Matters of Decorum.